Hello children. So once again I am here with a new video based on the electronic industry and the petrochemical industry. As you all know very well, in the earlier videos which I have uploaded in the channel, I have discussed about the manufacturing industries. Under that, agro-based industry, then mineral based industry, and now the next is electronics industry, and then we'll discuss about the petrochemical industries. So before I start with this, once again I want to remind you not to forget to share the link of this video with your friends and the classmates. And one more thing, you must subscribe the channel and press the bell icon also, so that if any video is uploaded in the channel, you are going to get the notifications. So without wasting any time, let's start with the topic. Okay, electronics industry. First of all, you all should know one thing, that these days electronics industry has become one of the basic industries. What do you say? Because as we discussed in the earlier part, if you remember, the iron and steel industry, right, that was taken as one of the basic industries without which we cannot imagine of any other industries. The same way, these days very fast electronic industry is actually covering each and every field, right? In our life, it has become an essential part these days. So very soon it is also going to be one of the basic industries. But at present, if you say, this industry, electronic industry, is actually a fast growing, very fast growing tertiary occupation, and it has maximum concentration in the southern states of India. When we talk of only India, maximum concentration of it is there in the southern region, and it requires a large number of educated and skilled workers. And one more thing, just after, you can say, in 1950s, end of the 1950s and beginning of the 1960s, you can say, that was the period when this industry started at that time. Okay, it started in India during that period, and since that time this industry has grown a lot. At present, this industry has occupied a major, you can say, it's covering a major part of our total economy, which is coming from industrial sector. The total economy is based on a few important industries, right? And especially electronic industry plays an important role in that. Now, when we talk about electronic industry, electronics in itself, it's a branch of science and technology, right? Science and engineering, you can say. But as an industry, it has largely contributed to the software industry and space explorations, medical diagnosis, communication, defense equipments, information technology, education sector. In different fields, you will find this industry has actually contributed a lot. Okay, and if you compare this, if you just take the present scenario, we are a lot dependent on the electronics. So we can say that it has become an essential part of the modern world. Now, regarding electronic industry in India, Bengaluru is the most important center, right? It has grown up in the form of, you can say, the electronic capital of India, and it is a major electronics and electrical hub of our country, and it houses only Bengaluru, only this city has got the Indian Telephone Industries, Bharat Electronics Industry, Hindustan Machine Tools, right? Bharat Electronics Limited actually, and Electronics Corporation of India Limited, ECIL. That means ITI, BEL, HMT, ECIL, all these are based on at this particular center, that is Bengaluru. Then when we talk about the space technology and electronics, this industry has contributed a lot in the development of space technology in India. And regarding the space technology, if we take just the ISRO, okay, Indian Space Research Organization, which is again based at Bengaluru. This is actually the center, the organization which is looking after all the space developments, right, related to India, the various research and various developments whatever are going on in that field, that is all being looked after by this ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, and it has got its headquarters at Bengaluru again, right. Then next is satellite launching station at Sriharikota and Thumba, from where the satellites are being launched. These are also benefited by this technology. And next is the NRSA, or you can say the National Remote Sensing Agency, which actually helps in providing the information regarding remote objects, suppose to locate the various objects with the help of various sensors like satellites and all, even to locate the various, you can say, minerals which are available below the Earth's surface with the help of the satellites. So these are a few things which have actually got a big help with by this the electronic industry, or you can say the electronics. Now this technology has helped a lot. And then come to the software and hardware. You know, in the world at present, the software and hardware of India, from India, actually, when we ask for the origin from where the software and hardware belongs, if it is from India, it is in great demand. So Bengaluru, again, I'm talking about the same center, that is the base for this technology. And it is the, you can see here, Bengaluru is the chief center for software as well as hardware. Therefore, it is rightly called as, at present, it has been termed as Information Technology Capital of India. It is also popularly known as Silicon Valley of India. And you can just imagine the importance of this city. The several leading software companies like TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, Wipro, HCL, Satyam Services are stationed in this metro city. Along with this, even a few MNCs, multinational companies like Hewlett and Packard, Digital Compact, and IBM have opened their trade offices in Bengaluru. Again, the headquarters in Bengaluru, Indian based trade offices. Then IT industry has also spread in Hyderabad and Pune, also in the peninsular region of India. And you know, together Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Pune, these three cities are forming a triangle, right? And this triangle is well known as the Silicon Triangle of India. Right, so which cities are involved in it? One is Bengaluru, the most important one. Next is Hyderabad, and the third one is Pune. These three are forming a triangle, and this triangle is known by the name Silicon Triangle. So, what do you think? What are the main factors why the IT industry has grown up so well, and it's growing very fast at present also in Bengaluru? What can be the reason behind that? You can see a few factors are given here. Number one, the most important thing is that it is the readily available world-class IT infrastructures are there at this particular place. Number one. Number two is that it has got a pleasant and comfortable climate. Pleasant climate means it is having actually from both side the marine influence, right? So no extremes we can find. If the extreme conditions are there, extreme climatic conditions are there, always you will find the efficiency gets affected, right? So this is one of the reasons why Bengaluru has developed as an important, very important center for the IT sector. Now next is quality research and development institutions. Yes, a number of such institutions have grown up within that region, which are constantly working on the quality research and its development. Next is the you can say it is a center for various international conferences and workshops, right? So somewhere these all help a lot in developing Bengaluru as a, you can say, the center of the IT industries. Or the other way we can rightly say that it has developed into the information technology capital of India. Now besides that, you will find the development of television and audio system has also been there in India very fast during these last few decades, right? Around 1990s, if you see BPL, Videocon, these were the most important brands, most important companies which actually were the leaders over the international, the overall television world, right? Television market. But then if you will study about all the developments, you'll find the companies like Onida, Philips and all these entered the television market. And after that, now you will find the global leaders are basically the Samsung, Panasonic, right? Sony, then Sansui. These are the global leaders at present, related to whether you take the television or you take the audio systems and the FM radios, MP3, MP4 players, stereos, LCDs, LEDs are all the such things which have been developed under these leaders, and these are all very common now in the present world, right? These are in large amount, these are being sold out as these are in great demand by the people, right? And all these are manufactured in large amount in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Pune, Kolkata, right? Bangalore. These are actually the different places, different centers where all these are produced in large quantity. So Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Pune, Kolkata, Bengaluru, then Kanpur, these are the important centers, important industrial centers where all these are produced. These all are the important centers where these items are being produced in large number. Now let's talk about the next industry, which is again a mineral based industry, we can say, and this is an industry which has grown up very fast again in last few decades, and it has grown so fast that it is now it has reached to each and every field, right? You can say in the household, in the agriculture sector, in the industries, right? In the education sector also, you will find everywhere some or the other things which are produced in this industry are being used, right? So petrochemical again has become a very fast growing industries these days. Now what is it actually? What are the products which are produced, which are coming out from these industries? You can see here the petrochemical products are mainly, the most important ones are plastics, right? So if you think of it, some or the other way we are using different things made up of plastics, right? Detergents which we use regularly, okay, synthetic rubber, synthetic fiber, all these things are in large use, right? In different things, some or the other way this actually has become an essential part of our life. Now, the what raw materials which we need for basically this, for establishing this particular industry. For that, you should remember naphtha, propylene, ethylene and benzene. These are a few raw materials which we actually use in these petrochemical industries to produce these different things. Now, from where these raw materials come? Basically, if you see always the location of petrochemical industry is very close to some or the other refinery. What is the reason for that? Oil refineries. The reason for that is basic raw materials are easily being provided by these refineries, okay, to these industries. So this is the reason, why these industries are, maximum number of these industries are lying close to some or the other oil refineries. Next is plastic. If you just talk about only plastic is widely used today as it is you can say it is very cheap, it is durable, it takes different shapes also easily, it's very attractive, right? It's quite light in weight, easy to handle, right? These are the qualities due to which the plastic is in you can say large amount it is being used by us. Okay, then when we talk about the next product, that is synthetic fibers, if you see the nylon, Dacron, then terylene, these are a few such fibers by which if we get some clothes, suppose just I'm giving you one example, if we take on one side the cotton cloth or silk cloth, on the other side we have taken any synthetic cloth, right, which is made up of synthetic fiber. Now if terylene or you can say nylon clothes, right? Now if you compare the two, you will find for a cotton cloth, if we wear that cloth, after once we use it, we need to iron it, right? Once we wash it, after that it needs to be ironed, right? Unless it is ironed properly, it is not ready to be used. Next, you can take the example of silk cloth, right? Suppose we are wearing any silk cloth, and once we wear it, after that it needs to be dry cleaned again, right? So these need proper maintenance, right? But these are quite you can say they need some maintenance and proper handling is required in these. But if we take the nylon cloth on the other side, nylon cloth, suppose we are using it, after that once we have washed it, right, we just put it on the hanger, and after that we can use it again without ironing it at all, right? It doesn't require that. Moreover, no dry cleaning and all are required every time. So what we can find here, it is quite easy to use, right? Not only this, in the present world when everything has become so fast, right? The life of people have become very fast. So we need something which is almost ready to be used. So at just in that mindset, always this nylon cloth or terylene cloth will be the first option which we are going to prefer in front of any cotton or the silk clothes. So this is one thing. Second thing is that these are quite cheaper also as compared to the original fibers. You can say either it is the silk, it is the cotton, it is wool, right? Any of these clothes are comparatively expensive than the synthetic fibers. So these synthetic fibers or artificial fibers, these are much cheaper also. The textile which are made out of it, these are much cheaper. So one is these are easy to handle. Number two, these are very cheaper. Okay. Then these are you can say these are more durable also, right? These are made very attractive. Many such things are there which make the synthetic fiber as more important as compared to the original fibers, right? Moreover, if you just compare, these synthetic fibers have nothing to do with the climatic conditions. If we take on one side, suppose cotton clothes, right? Cotton clothes or jute clothes or any such cloth which is actually coming from agriculture field, right? Agriculture side. So they get a lot, you will find these are getting influenced by the climatic conditions. But when we talk about these artificial fibers, synthetic fibers, these have nothing to do with the climatic condition. It can be made available at any place in the world. So it is not bound with any particular area or the climatic condition. It is available anywhere in the world. So these are a few things related to the products what we get from the petrochemical industries, right? Petrochemicals are basically, these are the chemicals on which we are on the basis of which we are producing these things, right? And from where do we get these chemicals? These are coming from the various petroleum industries, or you can say the petroleum. Basically, the raw materials for petrochemical industries we are getting from petroleum refineries, right? Or from the coal. That is these minerals only, right? That's why it is also called as a mineral based industry. Clear? Now one more important thing is there related to it, that is the location of petrochemical industries, right? A little bit I have told you in the earlier part. Where do we find the maximum number of petrochemical industries? Always close to the any of the refineries, petroleum refineries. So when we have to locate, suppose we have to start a petrochemical industry, for that purpose what the basic things we have to keep in our mind? Number one, the first most important thing should be the presence of any petroleum refinery close by. First thing, which is going to provide the raw materials, right? Number two, if there is a presence of port facility, it is going to be very good and always in favor of the industry, right? And availability of market. These are a few things which are required basically by this industry to get located in any place. Okay. Now on the coastal area, right, all over the world, if you see, not only in India, all over the world, if you just check the petrochemical industry, the main industries which are located all over the world in different countries, you will find maximum number of these industries are lying on the coast, right, in the coastal regions. And for that, the basic reasons are given here. Number one is that the raw materials are easily available, right? What are the raw materials now? We are getting from the petroleum refineries, and most of the petroleum reserves are lying close to the coast. So petroleum refineries, naturally these are lying on the coast, right? So always raw materials are easily available in the coastal area. Number two, the transporting cost becomes lower. Why? Because it is close to the port. So port facility it is getting. One side it is getting the various things from the other countries are getting imported, right? The machineries and all, suppose. And when the finished goods are being produced in these industries, these can easily be exported to the other foreign countries. So on one side we are getting heavy machineries imported and the export of finished goods to the foreign countries. So these are always easiest way to handle all this is through the seaways. Okay, so always the ports are the places which are the most helpful in handling the trade, right? The export and import of such heavy goods. Then which are the major petrochemical industries in India and where are these located? You can see here the most important ones are given here. The Indian Petrochemicals Limited at Vadodara, number one. Number two is again Indian Petrochemicals Limited at Dahej in Gulf of Khambat. One more is there, Haldia Petrochemicals near Kolkata. right, near the Kolkata port. Then next is Reliance Petrochemicals Limited, Jamnagar. These are the most important petrochemical industries, at least in India, right? Then at the end, I must revise the same things, children. When we talk about the petrochemicals, right? This is actually one of the main questions which is always being asked by the people. Why? What is the reason why petrochemicals is becoming so popular these days? Why petrochemical industries have become so important for us? Right? For that, you should always keep a few things in your mind. A few basic things should be there in your mind always. Number one, these are much cheaper than the original things, right? Original rubber, original fabric, right? These are always much cheaper than that. Clear? Number two, these are much durable also. Okay, these are more durable than the original things. That means original means we are talking about the natural rubber, or you can say the natural fiber. Then number three, they generate a large employment, because when the petroleum refinery is giving out these raw materials, from that point, right, until the time you will find these petrochemical industries are situated very close by. Okay, now till the time we get different products out of it, at different stages we get the different products out of it, right? So all these involve a large number of people who keep on working on these small units of petrochemical industries. So it actually, this is an industry which generates a large number of employment to the people. So this is an important point for this. Then next is these industries are not agro based, right? These are not agro based. So these, you will find that these are not at all influenced by climate. And then next is their raw materials are easily available. Clear? Their raw materials are easily available, and this is the reason, you know, these industries can be established anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. So these are the basic reasons why the petrochemical industries are becoming popular more and more these days. Okay, so here I am going to wind up with this video, and before I leave, once again I must remind you here, don't forget to share the link of this video with your friends. Okay children, so see you soon in the next video. Bye.